Maybe your pops was tops. Maybe your father's a bother. If he's angry and mad or in absentee lad, no matter what kind you had, here's fuck you, Dad.
All right, well, we are live again from the Lincoln Lodge, the greatest comedy club on earth and in this galaxy. And today's a pretty special episode because we have one of the true homies, one of the OG homies, one of my best friends on the podcast, Anthony. Do you want your last name on here? I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Anthony Secord. Yeah.
Seek Entertainment.
Yeah, Seek Entertainment.
Me and Anthony have been friends since we were 10.
Yeah, which will be really good for this podcast because Nick will have some background on some of the information we have.
Almost too much background. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had somebody on where I know like the topic of discussion. I've never, because I've met your grandpa.
You're not shocked. You know what's happening.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry, I got some curveballs for you still.
Okay,
That's good.
I'm sure you do. But
is there pressure having the best friend on where if he bombs the podcast, it's going to hurt the friendship or no?
No. I think, because here's the thing, I expect him to bomb the podcast because I'm the comedian. I'm very insecure about that. I need to be the funny guy in the friend group.
Or even worse, he's so much funnier.
That's what I'm scared
me
of.
and him are just like, dude, we should have like our own thing.
You're tapping into my insecurities right now.
We like have our own podcast. You come through.
Yeah, that's why I haven't had him on for a lot. That's why I've avoided all those people because my friends are funnier than me, and I can't have them trying to come in and steal my shit.
But can they scream for 10 minutes at a bar in Beloit? I'd love to see them try. I would love to see them subject themselves to sadomasochism.
Anthony did an open mic once. What'd you think?
Bombed. It was a good time though. You know, so my girlfriend, she does like job vets or whatever. They send vet students send her pictures to like get a scholarship or something, and all of them would send pictures of them holding up nuts they just cut off of animals, or their arm completely in a horse's ass, like fisting an animal.
Like, and just to fuck with her, or as legitimate credentials?
No, they were like, yeah, look at this, look what I did. I'm a veterinary student. And so I tried to tell a joke about that. Everyone thought
confused. I thought you said vets from war. So I thought they were so disturbed from war that they're just sending photos of cut off like squirrel balls. Like, where they're just like, this is basically what they had me do back in the Middle East. And then I was just like, Jesus, they need help.
So you thought exactly what the audience thought.
I thought they were trying to work at Kmart. They're like, do you have an application? He just sent him a photo of like a dead pig. He attacked with like a Swiss Army knife.
Everyone in the audience was very confused because Anthony was like, the thing about vets is they're cutting off balls and taking
you gotta
pictures.
Say veterinarian.
It's so much.
We all think
syllables,
military.
So many
It was
syllables.
his first time on stage. It was at the Irish Oak, R.I.P. Irish Oak.
Yeah, it's like 500 feet from my apartment. Nick's like, I'm doing an open mic, and I'm like, me too. And
damn.
Nick had that same energy of like, you better not do well. And he recorded the whole thing.
Well, thankfully for Nick, it sounds like his dream came true.
Yeah, it did. He was pumped. He was like, how'd it go? And he gave me a big like nux. He's like, yeah, it did great. He was pumped.
I was pumped. But you know what the worst feeling is when, because I had to do the open mic too.
Yeah, but you bomb in front of your friends.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like that didn't go great.
No.
And then he was there, and then
now you got some camaraderie.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like growing up. You were losers together as kids. You're losers together as adults.
Yeah.
It's like this never-ending beautiful string.
It really is beautiful.
It was like drugs though, because Anthony was like, I might want to do it again. I was like, no, dude, just one time.
It's like you guys. It's really the equivalent of chugging cough syrup.
Yeah.
It's not a cool drug.
It's not cool, man. You just do it once to see what it feels like, and then you get out of it.
It's like if you read a Reddit thread about how if you snort nutmeg, something happens to you. You know.
Have you done? Is that
no, I'm sorry, but it's a thing people do.
Okay, but that obviously came from somewhere.
Yeah, it came from middle school. I was scurrying around, you know. But so this childhood, Nick's childhood, basically, Nick's childhood part 2.
Yeah, Nick's childhood part 2.
What was that like?
Yeah, so I mean, Nick and I definitely, middle of the road kids. I wouldn't say the losers like I was at the open mic, but middle of the road kids.
We were middle of the pack in school.
Right.
Okay? We
just
were under people.
Unexceptional in every way.
Yeah.
You're not even cool enough to be nerds.
No, exactly.
Because nerds are sort of special.
No one was even paying enough attention to us to make fun of us.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, who?
Yeah, exactly. We float on.
I was kind of that kid too, just remarkably unspectacular.
But that's what you want to be. You want to be unnoticed.
Well, truly, you keep quiet. It was like in prison. I was like, I don't want any trouble. I'm not associated with it. I have my core group of degenerate losers, and then we're gonna skate out of here.
Exactly. Well, and you know how in prison, like everyone like picks their race or whatever, and then there's the gangs. Everyone just kind of picked their clique of friends, and you just cling on to them for dear life.
That's all it was.
And hope it ends up okay.
Yeah. So you guys are in-betweeners.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony has an extremely charismatic grandpa who, on multiple occasions, scammed me into cleaning his pool for him.
And how did that go?
Yeah, so my grandpa, just overall, scamming was life. Scamming was life. Like,
I love the sound of your grandpa. Shit. I might need to have a call with your gramps after this, because Mariner Finance is...
Well, he scammed his last scam.
Yeah. His stories ended in a giant scam, fireball.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll get to that.
He's in a giant fraud cell in the sky now.
Yeah. But basically, so like before like I was around or anything, he was like owning businesses that weren't working, such as like diamond businesses, and I think he owned like a leather shop or something. And then what I knew him as is he was like just a random salesman, and he was selling cars. Classic scammer.
Mm-hmm. He looks and he acts like Dollar Tree Trump. That's like his whole thing.
Trump like mixed with Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What a horrific image.
It
might be the ugliest man I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay, keep that image in mind.
And so he's not actually my blood grandpa either. Like my grandma
scammed his way like into your family.
Yes, 100%.
All right, you got to fill me. You guys have an inside joke. What's going on?
Yeah. So basically. So he had this like basically other life where he was like living. He grew up in like California. He would always tell me, he's like, yeah, I had like a Corvette at like 17. And when I was 12, he was like pointing to two girls walking down the street and he'd be like, Anthony, I need to tell you how to have two girlfriends at once.
At 12?
At like 12. And
12, he's like, this is important life. Life's cheating. That's what I need to instill in this kid's head.
And
probably haven't even had your first kiss yet.
Yeah,
no. Like, this is how you hide the fact that you got one of them pregnant.
And the thing is like, looking back, they were definitely like girls my age too, that he's like, yeah, go after them, which is now definitely weird.
Really weird.
Really weird. Weird to think about. But
we're like, wait, the immoral person's immoral? Strange.
In all aspects of life, he's a little tainted.
Yeah, a little tainted. But he was also like, so basically how he like scammed into my family. So my grandma was she was like an early employee at Life Touch, you know, the company that does all the school photos. She like started in there in the 70s, had like stock options. So they, as like a couple, had a lot of money. But my grandma, all she did was watch TV all day, and aka nothing. And so he would just go out and spend all of it.
Wait, so how do they meet? They just meet at a bar, eat Harmony?
No idea how they met.
Oh, interesting.
That is a good question.
So did he just met her, and he probably was like, she's all right, and then picked up that she has some Skrilla, just kind of invades, and then just spends all her money?
Yeah, I mean, they were married for a long time, so I'm not sure if this was the initial plan, but he did get hooked on like pain pills, so that might have really like...
That definitely takes it in that direction.
Yeah. I remember, because Anthony's grandpa's house was like a place to go hang out, you know, for us in high school, because they had a pool and stuff. And Anthony would always be like, you have to come see this house, because we'd go in there, and the amount of crap, Kenyon, I mean, it was like stacks and stacks of just like random crap that his grandpa just sort of hoarded he would always want
big time hoarder.
Sell
big
it
time
later.
Hoarders, yes.
He was like one of the, you know those ads where it's like the 9/11 commission coin, and it's like a gold coin.
Oh, he's like a sad guy. I thought he was doing some like Better Call Saul, like, I don't know.
I mean,
this guy's like,
there might have been part of it.
He has like a bunch of old newspapers. He's like, this will be worth something.
Well, that was
that's all hoarders are, like delusional optimists, where you're like, none of this is all shit.
Yeah.
Throw that away.
Yeah. No, I love that show though. Hoarders is an excellent program.
Oh yeah.
If you want to feel good about being an absolute nothing.
Because I'm like, I'm not like those idiots. I don't even have a bed frame.
I don't lie and shit and dead animals. I'm pretty good.
I don't have a bunch of newspapers everywhere. I barely own for clothing.
I don't have the ability to hoard.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wish I was a hoarder. I gotta get a payday loan to become a hoarder.
You know what's sad is I am always jealous of hoarders.
Yeah, I'm like, look at all that
At least
space.
you have property.
Yeah, you got a
Your own
house.
Property.
What's that, fucking 2,500 feet?
I like all this one from making you feel good about yourself to wait. I actually watched that and wish I were them.
Yeah, I have roommates.
Yeah.
We could, if I hoarded everything I own, it's like a studio apartment, a one-bedroom apartment would still look like I got robbed, dude. That should be a program, like the hoarders throw everything away, but they put it like directly into our apartments just so it looks like we have shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what a girlfriend is to me. She's just she has all the stuff.
There's it's not my bit, but some comedian has a great joke where he's like, every single guy's house just looks like they were a Katrina victim. Which is so true. It's like I have my one towel, it's like you live for pure efficiency. It's not like I have paintings up, I have a few nice, but the rest of it is just like literally like, how do I get to the next day?
Yeah.
And whenever a woman's like,
and even those paintings or whatever, it's just so like, well, occasionally when I bring a woman here, she won't think she's gonna.
Now,
die.
to be fair, yes.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, yeah. The paintings were inspired because I moved into your old apartment pre-quarantine. That might be one of the darkest places I've ever lived.
It's a dark
and that's
place.
coming from me.
Real dark.
And
spot.
I lived with an alcoholic 27-year-old when I was 19, and that was even. I would say somehow even darker because I just had my bed on the floor, nothing hung up. You know what it would, and the only closest thing to decorations were just empty bottles of liquor around.
When you describe it to people, I think it's like when vets describe like war. You're like, I can't believe you made it out. I can't believe you're still here.
Well, Stuart, one of the I mean,
you're like, mattress on the floor, bottles of liquor. Your girlfriend's a lesbian. It's all coming down. You're like, God, I can't. He made it. He really is still here. You deserve a patch. You should put a patch on your arm.
That was
of the old address. Just be like, I made it out.
December 2020 was a tough.
Or just one of those way too big hats with the
yes, with all the flags on it.
Saddest. One of the saddest moments in a minute was I was it's quarantine. So I'm getting drunk. Oh no, you
POD, dude, prisoner of depression.
Prisoner of depression. You and another buddy Mark were supposed to come over, but then there was like a COVID scare, so they couldn't come over. So I brought an obscene amount of liquor. I had like a fifth, I had like a beer. It was like for a group of people.
Yeah.
But I ended up just drinking it all by myself. Yeah, killed the whole thing. And I was so hungover that I was like, well, I just have to keep drinking to kill this hangover. But all I have left is a bottle of champagne that I spent an hour not being able to break open because I think there was nothing to celebrate. I think the champagne was like, I refuse. I refuse to treat this like a celebration. And anything. So I went outside, 0 degrees, put the gloves on. There's like concrete in the back, and I break the champagne open. With,
you couldn't figure out just to twist.
I break it open with a ledge and then pour it in. So anyway,
just a little bit of glass,
like you were christening a ship.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It was truly one of the saddest moments of that whole.
Okay, I have a story about Anthony's grandpa that I think is one of the. It's one of the funniest like. It's almost like a street joke. It's so crazy.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to tell it real quick because I love this story so much. Because Anthony's grandpa, his name is Terry, okay?
Oh, there's always a Terry.
Yeah.
There is always a Terry.
There is always a Terry. That's the moral of the story. So Anthony's grandpa's name is Terry. He's bringing Anthony and a friend of ours to a car dealership just to kind of, I think.
He loved to just go to car dealerships and test drive the nicest cars. All the time. Like, that was just like his, like...
Dude, my dad does that with RVs. He'll go... No, that's, like, cruel. He'll go, because he's always wanted to own an RV, because, of course.
Yes.
Of course, that's the most logical conclusion. But RVs, I don't know if you... Are a shitload of money.
Yeah, they're expensive.
They're, like, low ball...
It's a mobile home.
Low ball 40, 50K.
Yep.
You're never going to get the RV. So go to the RV. RV salesman... ready to feed his kids. My dad's asking like skilled questions. He's like, so what's the wattage on this? He's like, oh, it's pretty nice when you want to come. And you're like, he'll pull over. Like, we're just going to McDonald's. He'll see an RV place. He will detour, change direction. Ask questions. We're not talking 15. We'll be there for an hour. He's looking under the cupboards, all this shit. And he has...
And you know he's not buying.
He has probably negative $100. And so my dad this is on the way to a Wendy's meal that I'm probably going to pay for. And then he literally, the guy, he basically has blue balls. He's like, I'm going to fucking make so much money. And I just go, yeah, it's pretty nice anyway. I'll just see you later. After like 2 hours, I'm like, Dad, you cannot. It ruins people's. This isn't the zoo. It's not a museum. It's not an exhibit.
That's how schizophrenic he is. One of his voices is really rich and can afford something. He's like, no, he's on to something.
No, my dad's, ever since I was little, I think it's like almost, it's a halfway smart sheepstick thing to do. Part 2, just fucking with people. He would just go, no, you just, like when I went to the pet store, he'd be like, oh, it's a zoo. So you can't buy anything. You just can look.
Oh, I see.
Just to trick your kid to be like, he won't annoy
me. I won't spend any money.
Yeah. But then he's like, oh, just go look at stuff. And I'm like, that's
not an activity.
It's not fun at all. You want to go to the mall and just stare at stuff you
Look
could
at this
have?
life we can't have.
Yeah. Like, isn't it great?
Yeah, that's a pretty nice shirt. It'd be real cool if I had a job.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why are we here? Just watch TV.
So Terry's doing that. He's getting ready to do that. He walks into the dealership, and apparently he knows a salesperson there because he's done this before a lot of times at this dealership. So he goes in, and the dealer he knows is also named Terry.
Yeah.
So his grandpa walks in, and there's a guy at the desk, and he goes, hi, I'm looking for Terry. And the guy at the desk looks up and goes, my name is Terry. And now Anthony's grandpa goes, well, I'm looking for a different guy who works here, also named Terry. There's a ton of confusion in the air, right?
Okay.
The guy behind the desk looks up at him, and then kind of is confused and looks around and goes, what's your name? And Anthony's grandpa goes, Terry. I mean, it's a Seinfeld episode.
Right. They're just lost in that confusion.
It's an incredible amount of probably overweight white men. I don't know what the guys look like.
Overweight the car dealership white men, and everyone's named Terry.
Terry, dude.
It was
like
quite
glitch
the conundrum.
in the Matrix, bro.
It was quite
it's
the
like
conundrum.
two Terrys from a parallel dimension meeting each other. Like, if you're Terry, everyone just starts glitching. It's like it's strange.
It's insane.
It's the next season of Stranger Things. 11 has to separate the two Terrys before they come together and destroy the space-time continuum.
But yeah, Terry liked to spend a lot of time at car dealerships, and one time he actually did pull the trigger. So there was a Mustang that came out, like the new GT 500 that they brought back from that they hadn't made in however many years.
Yeah.
And so he actually went and bought one, and he paid way over sticker price and everything. But the thing is, he never told my grandma. And he literally hid his Mustang in a storage unit from my grandma.
Wait, but it's like her money. Wouldn't she be aware that
she's watching TV?
TV paralyzes elderly women.
Oh, God. It's a trance. It's like a hypnotic.
Once that Wheel of Fortune starts spinning, they're like, well, I'm just going to sit in my house.
Yeah. No, they just lose 20 years. Wait, so he brought a Mustang and then just hid it in a storage car? Like it's a stolen Mustang.
Yes.
Because in a way it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
when
God.
When you really get down to it, it is. Yeah.
So he just brought a Mustang, and he can't even, because the whole point of the Mustang in that guy's life is, I'm going to ride this around town, and everyone's going to think I'm a goddamn man.
Yeah, it was sick when he would offer to drive me to school in it, and then of course he would peel out of the school with it super loud, which is so absurd to do out of a middle school.
Oh, where he's like, well, I'm going to show these kids. Those are the only people he can really stud in front of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that middle school, that's not getting back to people who play bingo.
No.
So he's got to keep the group separate. He's got to. The rumor can't spread.
He's got to get the fuck out of there.
That's such a random fuck up, because that's not like, it's been too much going out last night. You're like, we are going to be paying that for about 30 years.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and nobody thought you were any cooler of it, obviously.
No.
It's not 1982. No one's like, oh, a car. Everyone's like,
middle school.
And we went to a pretty nice high school. A lot of people did pretty well. So it was they're like, all right. Cool.
Nice. Nice grandpa.
Yeah, but then one of the things he would like to do is he would go to car shows with this Mustang and then just get in arguments with Corvette people and start talking shit and getting almost fights. And then there was multiple times that I ended up where he was like, Anthony, get in the car, and we would get in and go down the highway and race people and race Corvettes when I was a kid.
I can't imagine a level of like just you have like absolutely nothing going on where you're like, I got this Mustang basically fraudulently, and that is my entire personality now. I go to conventions. I will murder my grandson to defend the Mustang's honor.
He didn't have the ability to get in a fight on Facebook about anything, so he was like, I need to go to a convention.
That's actually why Facebook is great.
Yeah.
Because it's like that was happening in a parking lot.
Yeah.
All the old people, old people are arguing on Facebook. Yeah, that was happening on a highway.
Yeah.
People's lives were in danger. He's like rolling down the window screaming about QAnon. You know?
Exactly.
Oh
that
my
used
God.
to happen at like in lobbies of fucking Wyndham hotels.
Yeah, the Wyndham. Dude, that is, oh my, I can't, so what are you're how old?
I'm like between this. I think he bought it when I was like maybe 12. So between like 12 and like 15 or 16 is when this was all going down.
And what are your thoughts as your grandfather, an elder, is going like 80 miles an hour to prove some point to a Corvette?
Well, see, the thing is like he was like genuinely felt like a good driver. Like he taught me to drive. He was car salesman. Cars were like his life, like always. So I wasn't scared of his driving
ability.
ability.
He was about to take his life from
I was scared of just how far he would push it. Like it wasn't
He's going pretty far.
Yeah,
I would say drag racing on the highway is about as far as.
Well, that's the thing
that's quite literally as far as it gets. It's not a toy. You ever go fast in a car and you're like, oh, we are like a slight lean from eating out of a tube for the rest of our
And I mean,
life.
this thing was chipped. It had like 700 horsepower. We were going like 140.
I'd be shitting my pants. I'd be absolutely
I was just holding on.
terrified.
I would close my eyes.
Oh, that's how you know that's real fear, when you're like, I can't even look at what's happening right now.
Dude,
I can't take it.
140 is like, oh, so this is I died trying to prove some weird point to a guy in a Corvette.
No, it was just I died having family tie with Grandpa.
Yeah.
A martyr for the worst possible cause. Like, what would you even say if you get to he objectively wins the race and then just slams into a billboard? Like,
I was pretty.
What at the funeral? They'd be like, well, it showed that Corvette guy. That Corvette guy feels pretty stupid now. He's got 700 horsepower in the sky. Like, what? Oh God, things the male ego will turn to.
Although you are pretty petrified of being in a car. I
Me?
mean, I've driven you many places. In Iowa, I remember all that happened. We were driving down a country road, and a raccoon just kind of crossed the street, and you screamed like a tank shot something at us. You were like, "Ah!"
Nick,
get out of the
I have
way!"
been in 3 major car accidents. So whatever, and the deer. Well, I didn't want to kill that poor raccoon. That's why I was scared.
That's why. Don't
why.
bring up the accidents.
No,
I
didn't want.
Fine.
Didn't want you to kill the raccoon.
You looked into the eyes of the raccoon, and you're like, "That's me, a helpless animal. Don't touch it."
Helpless animal eating trash.
Yeah.
Helpless animal, misunderstood, middle of Iowa. Bit of a sore spot for me, and then I don't want this guy to be ran over and mutilated like I was in that fucking state. So that's why I screamed. But I am a little. I had the deer pop out, kamikaze.
I hit a deer too.
Total.
That's pretty terrifying.
Colt got totaled with the deer.
Yeah.
Was drunk. Okay, drinking a driving accident. You're not supposed to do it. Almost died. And then you gotta have. I don't know if I've said this on the pod, but how my brother did back into like a gangster's car in Durham.
Oh no, you've never told
Okay,
that.
so in Durham, I don't know. It's kind of a thing that I've noticed, but sometimes like people will go out and drag race downtown.
Okay.
Like fucking super nice cars, and they'll be just spinning really fast. And someone told me, they're like, oh, that's like a gang thing. And it was like after this horrible show I did, I'm like with my brother, I'm like, let's just stop at a gas station and buy beer. Someone's in the four-lane intersection doing donuts. Like aggressive huge mountains of smoke. And there's a bunch of nice cars in this gas station watching this guy.
Okay.
And I come out with the beer.
Seems like something you definitely don't want to fuck with.
No. Come out with the
Don't
beer.
want to interrupt that.
Get in Tino's driving, my brother.
Gotta
Thinks he's responsible. Also, there's one of those cameras where you fucking watch where you're going. Not good enough for Santino. He backs up, slams into we turn around. It's a big, nice Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
Red dice. Big old red car.
Oh no.
Oh no.
One could infer. Perhaps a man who's a big fan of red.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
A little bit of the Bloods gang here. Okay. So we're kind of freaking out. Steve's like, should I call the cops? I'm like, we should 100% leave. And I'm like, just
Definitely don't call the cops.
Also,
That's
it's a parking. There's a drag race going on. There's a parking lot full of people that do not look like they're a fan of like rules and stuff, you know? So, and then
big fans of red, not a fan of rules.
Yeah. So, but what happened is so the drag car, he like stops and then dips, and then everyone leaves to follow the drag car. And then while we're in the middle of this terrified kids, the guy whose car we owned, who we hit, it was like on the left, the left side, but he gets on the right and dips. Like he didn't even see the damage yet. He just dipped to follow, and we're following him, like because we have to leave the parking lot, and then we just go the other way, and we're like, "Whoa!"
Wait, maybe so you backed it into the car, and he got upset. Was he upset with you? Like, was he like, "What the fuck?"
No, the guy didn't. So
he didn't even notice.
He wasn't
the car.
Even
he followed. Everyone jumped in their car immediately to follow the drag race car. So he didn't look. He didn't get to see that side of the car that was hit. He just jumped in his car and dipped.
Oh my god!
And then we were right behind
you kissed
him.
Death.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then we got like me and Santino get home, and we just keep looking through the blinds the entire time. Like, I think we're good. Holy shit.
That's more dangerous than my drag racing story.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I was like, we just gotta go. I was like, Totino, like their only move is to leave right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Fuck.
But what about your dad? So
So my dad. So my parents were split up, and as one does in America, split up.
I don't trust people with parents still together. Yeah, that's why Nick's weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, they should be divorced. It's not like a thing where I'm like, oh yeah, they should be a married people. But they're still together.
Right.
Yeah,
everyone should be divorced.
Yeah, everyone.
You get it times out. Yeah. It's like a TV show that it's like The Simpsons. You're like, that was a good show. Do we need 34 seasons?
I think
like stop.
I think once you raise the kids, and if they moved on, it's like you beat the boss.
Yeah.
You did it.
If
your kids moved out,
you have those.
Did family.
Yeah,
you did the thing. It's like,
now go vibe.
Yeah, have fun. Don't be a nerd.
Yeah,
fuck one person your whole life. Loser.
But yeah, so my dad, he was a bit of a like renegade guy. His friend. It was always like his friends telling me like, "Oh, your dad." Crazy, which gives you just weird energy. It's like, is that good?
That's never. You never want to be the son of that guy.
Yeah,
everyone's like, oh, I can't believe he had a kid. And you're like, oh, sweet. Well, he's kind of a quintessential building block in my life. So let's hope this doesn't turn into damage.
And he just loved to fuck with me a lot. Like when I was like just learning to talk, one of my favorite foods was pickles. And apparently when I was really young, he just like gave me a jalapeno and was like, pickle. And just like, and just
that is funny.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like kind of a good bit, to be honest. kind of a good bit. Let's be. Yeah. I mean, how old were you?
I don't know. I mean, I was like
4 or 5.
I mean, learning to talk. I wasn't special needs. One or two. You'd like.
I don't know when.
Learn some words.
I know nothing about babies.
Yeah, I don't know when things happen.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, you're going to kindergarten at 4 or 5.
Yeah, but then that's because you just started talking.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like you're talking school time.
I haven't paid attention to a little kid in quite possibly ever.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
I guess I have a niece and nephew, so I'm a little bit more.
Yeah, we're not tapped
up to date. So you do it at like I think like 2-ish.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty young to be eating jalapenos.
And
that's right. You were probably crying pretty hard.
Yeah, apparently I didn't know many words. So the only word I knew was milk. So I was just like milk.
Oh well, that's
milk.
a good word to know.
Very, very clutch word for that situation. He trained you for the one word you would need to say to save you.
Yeah, exactly. And he put me on a dirt bike at 4, and it was like.
Okay, so these pranks are getting progressively more.
Well, this wasn't a prank. This was more his dream. Yeah, this was more his dream.
More just attempted murder in a certain.
Well, exactly, because I literally cranked the gas, drove it right into a tree at 4 years old. Flew over like a
literally could have.
Okay,
let's just say it. The first one's like, I'll pay you on the kid. I mean, you're not gonna lie. The dirt bike thing is like that's.
Yeah, and so I noticed in here because here at the Lincoln Lodge, one of the bathrooms is covered in pictures of clowns, which brought back a lot of memories of his bathroom, which was also covered in the same style clown paintings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very just like, and at first I didn't mind them, but then when I was like 8 or 9, he was like, hey, we're going to watch this funny movie, and it was It.
What is with parents and sitting their kids down and making them watch It?
I never watched
story,
it, but it's ridiculous.
It's a scary movie.
So then every time I went into that bathroom, it was just nightmare of horrors. Especially like at night, I was just like,
your legs are already broken from the dirt bike. You're in a wheelchair, terrified.
Yeah,
in a clown bathroom.
I'm trying to get out. Like it was the most. So like that was just constantly that. But then also he had a little bit of a meth habit, and then went to jail for that, as you do when you have.
And now everything makes sense. It's very bad. Well, here's the thing. My kid's going to fly now. You feed him a jalapeno, give him strength. Then get him right over the dirt bike.
Give him strength.
I'll tell you, my kid does a wheelie. We're on our way because it goes over the tree. That goes viral. I don't know your mother, $100,000. It's all coming together, dude. Was there ever any times as a kid where like, oh, I know he's on drugs, or did he keep business and family
he
separate?
kept like he was mostly like fine like around me, but it would just be like I wouldn't see him. Like it would be like waiting at the pickup spot. I don't know, all the divorced kids out there know the pickup spot of where your parents go to meet and drop you off, but it's not at someone's house. It's at a like gas station.
Probably. Yeah. How did it bum out? Because it's like probably the only thing he didn't like picking up at a gas station.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you just wouldn't show up as you do when you don't want it.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
there's another gas station with a little bit more importance.
Yeah, and so that's he put it separate.
So you would never saw Mai.
Yeah.
You never saw Mai.
Not that I knew of. I was like pretty young. He went to jail when I was like 8 or 9.
And what sparked the jail? Just possession? Or?
Yeah, I think possession, maybe. I don't know. I was so young where I was like didn't want to know. But I did see like a gun in his room once, like a pistol. And he was a big hunter, but this gun looked different. I was
this gun is not for deer.
Yeah, and I was like,
for a man named Big Roy who may or may not be showing up later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that definitely felt a little sketch.
For sure.
But then, he got out of jail and then, was an alcoholic. And
okay, so he's like, all right.
And then he passed away like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, that's what happens when you become an alcoholic and do a lot of meth.
We always made fun of his mom because his mom wouldn't let him do anything. And now that 100% makes sense. I was like, why is Anthony's mom such a fucking
jerk? Because
her
dad's in prison.
That would make sense because his dad's doing meth in prison.
Yeah.
Not showing up to the pickup spot.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty mad that I've been like, no, you don't have fucking friends over. You're not even supposed to fucking be here, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So, my mom
was just trying to prevent the dad 2.0. Was there ever a camaraderie where you felt like, oh, there's a route you could have went? Where?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I was definitely the delinquent friend of the group of our friends. Like, I was, I was like smoking pot in 9th grade and then like got these guys smoking in like senior year. But like compared to the friend group, I was like 4 years.
Still got the best grade. Well, maybe not the best. No, the best grades.
Yeah, somehow I had like 2
What's
parents.
That meth? They'll keep you up.
Dude, that's
you just do a little crank. You get all your homework.
I was a first-gen college student. No one in my family ever went to college. Somehow was good at school. It was mind-blowing to everyone. It was mind-blowing to everybody. But I was like smoking weed, like drinking in 9th grade, all that stuff.
Well,
and so like I definitely
grade.
felt like I was, selling at some point. Definitely had a path, but then, chose college and not going to jail.
Yeah, that seems remarkably less. There's a different like Joe Dirt. Like if your head hit that tree differently in the wheelie.
Absolutely.
You and your dad at that same Motel 6.
There's for sure an Anthony that moved in with his dad when he was 19, and he's just on the land now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's Anthony that calls Nick at like from a different burner phone all the time. Yeah. It's like we should hang out, but first I just need $700.
Yeah, if you could just Venmo me a quick $700.
Oh, there ain't no Venmo for this guy. He's like, you got to go to Western Union. There's no that phone. The Venmo's gone a long time ago if you're a sketchball.
So yeah, speaking of the dirt bike thing, at my dad's funeral, literally one of his friends stood up and was like, the story that I just remember is we were all riding our like Harleys, and these are big bikes. And I don't know why he has a southern accent. We're from Minnesota. So
it's what we attribute to dumb people in the pod.
We do that all the time, too.
Yeah. So it's like...
what is it? Because it's too dumb to even say.
Yeah, so it's like... Accent? So he's like, oh, yeah, we had the bikes, and we were going... we were going down the highway, and, Paul was always the run, even though they were big, heavy bikes. He would just rip a wheelie going like 70. And that was his like story.
After he's dead and gone, that's
a tribute to the man's life. He's just a guy who likes to pop wheelies. Well, it's crazy that he died now, because to be honest, he faced death in the face all the time.
And he was in the army like beforehand, was in a helicopter crash, hit the side of a mountain, and I think
his story is a little now less straight, like just PTSD addled to dad.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah, like, some loser meant that. Yeah, no, for
100%.
Like people were like cut in half in the helicopter crash, and he like lived. So definitely.
And all you brought up is like, so I made me eat a jalapeno, and they wouldn't pick me up. He's just like scared. It's like 4th of July. He's just crying alone in the car. Like, I'm sorry I couldn't save you, Jeff. You're like, we're gonna be late to soccer practice.
Some people earn their meth. I think.
Oh, you earned some meth. You've been to war. You get some meth.
He definitely earned a bit of it.
I never get it, because like, if let's say you're in the middle of distress. Why the fuck would you want a drug that just stresses takes you to 1,000?
Hunter Biden, dude.
Hunter Biden.
Oh, what's he out there doing? He's out there smoking crack.
Yeah. It can be anyone.
I mean, I don't like in the army. Okay, guys, right? I don't like to get political on the spot, but I don't think we've ever done like a serious endorsement, because the thing about it is, what I admire the most is he was asking his dad for like, I got a problem, I got to go to rehab, get like $30,000, and then go to this rehab, smoke crack, and have sex with prostitutes, film himself doing it. And I just think that's the kind of man we need to lead our country. To be right on. No, because
that is a president.
Think about this. The country is not getting better.
No.
So what better person to run it than a man who's never going to get better?
Yeah.
Like a rich, spoiled asshole smoking crack. That should be in a tub that his dad paid for. That's the American flag, baby.
Yeah. There's a lot of
delusional optimism. That's okay. Everyone talks about the American dream. That's the new American dream. The new American dream is scamming and stepping over whoever to chase your impossible. Whether it's smoking crack, whether it's being a stand-up comedian, whether it's paying your rent or crypto, whatever dumb delusion you have in your stupid mind, you chase it forever passionately. Yeah. That's what I like, dude. That's the only guy.
I think we're ready.
Imagine him in Trump in debates. Well, like he'd be like, "You're a loser. You smoke crack," and he'd go, "Crack is great." Rip a crack pipe, and you have no. Also, think about this: drug addicts, hardest working people alive, right?
Absolutely.
So you're just like, "Hey, Hunter, until we have universal health care, you don't get to smoke crack. Solve tomorrow." Solve tomorrow. Heads are smashed.
That's true. A crackhead will get stuff done.
You have a crack on like a bag over his head.
Just
he's
a
just
little
running.
Wheel.
Yeah, he's just he's punching like Blue Cross Blue Shield execs in the face.
Everybody complains about DC not getting stuff done. A crackhead will get shit done.
He'll drain the swamp to see if there's some pipes he can pawn under it.
Can you imagine the fights between Joe Biden and his son? He's just like, "Hey, you gotta stop smoking crack." And then Hunter's like, "Well, at least I'm awake, Dad. Yeah. I'm awake and I'm here. I'm living
I don't
things."
even know if he's probably just been like, "I have a son."
He's like, "Who are you?" Like, "Your son's smoking crack," and he goes like, "Who? I thought I sent him away a long time ago.
I thought I settled that. This jabroni, I'll tell." Hey, is he leaving his toys on the floor again?
America's really ready for a monarchy too at this point. Like, just go back to back. The Bidens, like, they wanted it with Trump.
Yeah.
People wanted it.
People wanted King Trump,
and
dude.
So now it's like, hey, you wanted King Trump? We have the Bidens.
I think I cannot think of a more fitting man for this chaotic times than I would trust that a lot more if he's just
Hunter Biden 2024.
He's just on TV. He's like
Hunter Biden. We're the first one.
Hunter Biden.
We want him here. Hunter Biden.
I'll have Hunter on the dude. The ultimate fuck you, Dad. Hunter Biden on the podcast. I mean, is there any more peak fuck you? First off, there's no more peak fuck you, Dad, than taking your dad's money. Also, like, stop filming everything. Why are you filming everything?
The filming everything is wild.
I have done a lot of shameful things in my life. I've never been like, hey, let's break the camera out. You know, when I was breaking that champagne over the ledge, I'm like, let's take a little self.
That's a guy who really doesn't like his dad. That's why he's filming it. He's like, "Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna film this."
I say put that out there. I don't know where you are. I don't know where this American hero is currently lying. But if you hear my message, Hunter, I want you on the pod. I'll smoke crack live with the pod with you, and I'll endorse this. I would feel way more secure in this world if a guy came out and was just like, listen, we're bankrupt. But to be honest, we're going to get high as fuck with it.
Hunter's fumbling the bag a little bit right now because he's relying on his dad right now. But I think if he just put out his videos that he knows are out there on OnlyFans and just released them like
content.
He's a natural content king. He films everything and does wild shit all the time.
I mean, dude,
that's what we need from a president. We need content.
Here's how the world is going to end, and I think it'd be, who's that annoying YouTuber that punches people?
Annoying YouTuber who punches people.
He's like a boxer. He's like terrible.
Oh, Logan Paul.
So this is how I think the world's gonna end, right? And I'd be fitting and poetic. It's Logan Paul, Hunter Biden in a cage punching each other for empireship of the United States while the nukes fall. And I think that'd be a beautiful end to all of it.
I think so too.
That's glorious.
Speaking of ending, I think we've reached the end of
It's
this
the end of the
episode.
pod. Please come out to the Lincoln Lodge. Good shows every goddamn night of the week.
Every night there's a comedy show.
It's ridiculous.
I don't think you guys are realizing that every night.
You're like, I'm busy tonight. Come. What are you busy every day of your life? You're not. You listen to this podcast.
Quit.
Nothing. So yeah, do that. Listen to the Patreon for the love of God.
The Patreon supports us to film in this lovely
that's how we
studio.
pay
I'm a
for the
subscriber.
studio.
It's fantastic, and you get things you just don't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
And that's coming from him. And all I had to do was hold a gun under the table for him to say that. So we're good.
All right. Well, thanks, Anthony, for coming, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a great time.
Hey, guys, you just listened to another episode of Fuck You Dad. If you could follow us on our Instagram, which is FCKYOUDAD podcast. That's the important one. We also have a Twitter account, which is FCKYOUDADPODCA1. If you could follow that. Also, please submit any father stories that you have that you'd like us to make fun of, laugh at, or share. Shoot that to our Instagram DMs. And if you could please go ahead and rate the podcast, share the podcast with your friends and family that might enjoy it, and keep listening. Thank you so much.